And we're back.
Hello, everyone. This is episode number 16. And today we're going to be discussing trends and, challenges on the internet.
Yes, I also called it social media trends going wrong.
Yeah, it's a wide topic, but we wanted to cover both sides of it. Sometimes they can go wrong, sometimes they can go right. And what you can do in terms of capitalizing on it, and how to get one started, and what the ideal ones are.
For me, I also focus a little bit of a damage control to understand, if some companies or some people that did it wrong, how they get out of it or they don't.
Anyway, well, we usually cover our main topic at the end, but first we have some weird news from the internet.
Go ahead, start. I've seen your list, so go ahead.
Yeah, this is a AI mess up. I've got this one because people just can't seem to learn. So, and this time it's from a professional publication, Esquire.
I know these guys.
So recently, Joe Biden pardoned his son, Hunter Biden, for a bunch of crimes, which was, dodgy as hell. But Esquire wrote an article called "A President Shouldn't Pardon His Son?" ? Hello, anybody remember Neil Bush? The problem is that never happened.
What?
Yeah. This event never happened, and it was fabricated by AI. They just kind of put it out there, and the entire internet just clowned on them.
Yeah, tell me.
So yeah, they alleged that George Bush pardoned his son, George H.W. Bush, I think, yeah. And the article was quickly removed, but the Wayback Machine still has it.
I see you're looking at the Wayback Machine.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the danger with doing professional publications with AI. It'll just hallucinate stuff that didn't happen and be better.
What did it say?
It's such a strange article as well. Listen to the language on this. This was literally written by a guy, but I think he only got the facts from the AI. So it's stuff like, "Set yourselves down around the turf fire, my friends, and let me tell you the fable of lucky American businessman. This American businessman came from a wealthy and prominent family, but the American businessman not very good at American businessman, being an American businessman. What? He was not very good at being an honest American businessman, to be precise, but he was a lucky American businessman, and we shall see in the end that was all that mattered."
Sounds like just keyword stuffing.
Yeah, the other thing is, I don't think that was written by AI. It's way too crappy. That's like artisanal bad writing.
No, it's not good.
Yeah, but it just goes on. It's a long ass article, but it's just full of lies.
Yeah, so they basically fabricated an event just to kind of put down the Biden family for him pardoning his son.
No, this was supposed to be a defense.
Or with the fake news that never happened.
They're like, you think this is hypocritical because George Bush pardoned his son, and that never happened. So yeah, it's just a strange thing that you wouldn't even check the Wikipedia.
Well, I mean, remember we spoke about dead internet theory literally last time?
Yeah.
This is a real example of dead internet theory being real, because they just come up with stuff that doesn't exist, and AIs, they just comment on things that they hallucinate, and then people believe that. So when the whole information is populated by bots, I love it like this. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you I was right in 20 years.
Yeah. On a related note, recently the European what is this? The European Federation of Journalists decided to stop posting on Twitter, or X as it's called. They're boycotting it.
Is it on a legal level or what? Or just like association?
They're just not posting there. It's no longer considered obligatory. I mean, they can use it in their personal time, but the Federation of Journalists does no longer deem it a valid platform.
Was it mandatory to publish it on Twitter as well?
Not mandatory, but it was the biggest platform for journalists, and arguably still is. But they've basically said, no, we're just not doing it.
Because fake news? I mean, I don't understand. Why would they not publish on X when, of course, you can be a good journalist and you can be a very respectable publisher and still decide not to do
Uh,
that?
the organization stated that it can no longer ethically participate in a social network that its owner has transformed into a machine of disinformation and propaganda.
Ah, okay, well, now it makes sense. So he basically said that, hey, there's a lot of lies and stuff that is not true on Twitter, and we do not want to be part of the platform that is just driving misinformation.
It's a very different thing, right? Sure, there was always disinformation on Twitter, but now it actually has a slant towards boosting disinformation when necessary. It's become an ideological platform. Yeah.
Also, anything sensational, if it's not true, gets bloated, and then everything that is real, not? Is that the idea?
I mean, Elon Musk put in so much time and effort into devaluing actual journalists who work there and literally drowning them out with all these other voices, and then like the check mark situation where you can just buy a check mark and you'll show up in the feed much better than anybody who doesn't have it.
Fair.
So it's all of that incentivizes these people to post as sensational wrong stuff that gets a reaction and that they make money off of it. So it's created a bad ecosystem.
I've seen somewhere why Trump won. Again, it's a conspiracy theory that Elon Musk bought Twitter specifically because it's a business that was now failing, right? They're not making money, so he bought a failed business, fired a bunch of people, so just he can create the narrative and control the narrative of Twitter.
I don't think that's why he did it. He definitely because he tried to back out of buying it, so that theory doesn't really work. But when when the deal had to go through, when the court told him you have to buy it because you've signed this, he made the best of a bad situation for him. Fair just kind of went, okay, now I'm going to loan it out to the Saudi government. I'm going to loan it out to Russia. I'm going to loan it out like this. He was having meetings with all these world leaders, you know?
Russia bots.
I mean, just every possible government that's really shady has a stake in Twitter doing badly. Like literally the Chinese government was commenting about, oh, it's going to be so difficult for us if Twitter falls apart.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's a really easily botted platform. You can just constantly post nonsense over there and it gets traction and people believe it. And like, Twitter brain rot is a real disease, guys.
Became one, I guess. Everyone says Reddit is a toilet of the internet, but I guess Twitter is like 10 times worse. I like 4chan for that reason, because 4chan is like a bunch of degens that are there and they know who they are, they know what they're doing, and it's self-controlled in a way.
Look, Reddit is the toilet of the internet, but toilets are useful. Twitter is not even that. It's like the junk pile.
Became one, indeed. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah. I mean, it's becoming an issue, like, even recently, and I had another side story linked to this one, so I'll just go into it.
Go ahead.
Which is, there was this moment where a whole bunch of Nazi accounts got revealed.
What?
Yep.
Where? How?
So people just non-data is insecure on Twitter.
Yeah, obviously.
So there's all these like Nazi accounts that were being signal boosted on Twitter, and people like hunted them down and hacked them. And the Texas Observer just you can check our sources. If I'm not going to go into it, you can check our sources in the description. And the Texas Observer basically put them on blast with their identities and everything. They're like from all walks of life. Some of them are like business owners and stuff like that.
There was somewhere as well on Reddit. There was it was a community r/red pill, I think. And then at some points, there's not the super admin, but the admin or the creator of the red pill community that has like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of subscribers, that was actually some right-wing government official in US who by accident spoofed his username, and then they saw that, hey, this guy in US who's actually the red pill and anti-feminism and men propaganda and whatever did that, and he spoofed himself. No, that's amazing. I love it.
Go into one yours. I quickly got to prepare for the next one.
For me, I have a few. One is, of course, from the tech news, Sam Altman's new $200 ChatGPT
Oh yeah.
subscription. That one is great, but it has a few problems. I actually watched a few tech reviews where the guys went in and they tested if it's writing code, how good is it writing code, what is its reasoning, and stuff like that. How the math problems are being solved as well with ChatGPT, and they basically said that it is better, it is much better. However, there are a few business issues and there's a few Elon Musk issues in there as well, which I think a lot of people know. So OpenAI has a new pricing model that they launched, this $200 per month pro subscription, offering unlimited access to this new reasoning model. There is a little bit of a competitive pressure as well that it faces because, well, you have Google Gemini and other open sources like Facebook uses Llama, and you can use it for free and it's actually quite good and you do not have a limitation. Of course, you have to pay for the API, but you don't have this like subscription model there. So you pay as you go. And of course, Elon Musk started basically challenging OpenAI transition to a profit status company because they were considered a non-profits. They were funded by Microsoft, where Elon Musk as well. I think he hit like, I don't know, 40 million or something like that. So anyway, maybe I'm wrong, but there's a lot of money that was in there. And of course, there's a lot of financial disputes because now if they're switching to a paid model, Elon Musk isn't happy. Microsoft is okay because it's their ecosystem, but he's being a little bit salty about it. Um, and it's calculated that OpenAI shift towards monetization and advanced features is not going to bring it money because the valuation of OpenAI is 157 billion valuation, but their monthly recurring revenue is 300 million. So this highlights basically the imbalance.
Yeah.
And kind of unsustainable growth. So they're not really in profits, even though they're valued like crazy.
And the other problem is scalability. The more people are going to use it, the more data centers they'll need, the more like stuff it needs to gobble up. And at this point, I heard that somebody fact check me on this. They'd already gobbled up like 70% of the internet for these models, and they're running out of source data.
I heard that they spent 5 billion a year just maintaining the data warehouses.
Yeah.
And what is happening, I know from one of the clients that we spoke to, they are explicitly saying that in the Netherlands you cannot open any more data data warehouses where you can store the servers, and you cannot do it in Germany in some cities, so in some bigger cities. So there's literally limitations and bans from countries of opening data warehouses because it's just not sustainable. And yeah, it's kind of crazy that OpenAI basically struggles with it, but their valuation goes up. Everyone's unhappy, but still they're trying to switch to the profit model from the non-profit model that they initially went for. And I think Sam Altman will have 7% stake. Even if they switch to it, he can step away and still have 7% of the whole valuation if the business gets sold to, I don't know, Microsoft or whatever. So yeah, it's insane. I like that IT people love it, but I do not like that all this, shady promises are being broken.
Yeah, but that's just Sam Altman's MO since he was a CEO at previous companies. He just builds up a company and then exits and then just it crashes to the ground and he starts all over.
Next venture, give me money. Everyone gives me money. So great. I have 7% stake, billions. Good luck, guys. Do your own thing.
If anybody wants to listen to more about this, check out Better Offline by Ed Zitron. That's a really good podcast that you can hear all about the comings and goings of AI.
Another one, which actually blends very well into the AI ecosystem, is there was a research in Stanford University, and there was a study that says that 9.5% of programmers are ghosts. And by ghosts, they mean that they basically did this research and they saw that almost 10% of developers perform minimal work, costing companies 90 billion annually. And this, again, kind of blends into this dystopian future of how did they know that? and they basically are bigger companies. They look at the code that is being submitted and the quality of the code. So they basically have AI connected to any code base. And this AI tells if the code was written, how much code was written, was it good, was it ChatGPT generated as well, so it can see and evaluate employees' productivity and output and quality of code versus the quality of code of AI. And even Microsoft admitted that 30% of all the code that they write is already AI generated code. Yes. So, and this again blends into we're gonna lose our jobs. Right now, you have all these. Have you seen a Batman movie generated by AI?
No.
It's like nine or 10 minutes, completely AI generated Batman movie, and it uses all the like famous actors. And it's just a huge blend. Of course, fingers they still look crooked when they try to like push buttons in the elevator or something like that. But this, yeah, basically creative AI. I think it's called Sora. Yeah, Sora Video. So they did that, and it looks pretty cool. So yeah, that's again a very interesting study. That's basically 10% of all the employees or coders, they are not writing code.
Yeah.
They're costing industry money. There is AI that writes better code. So when you come to the entry level junior backend front end developer, yeah, we don't need that anymore. So they're going to be fired potentially because 30% of all the code by Google, by Microsoft is written by AI. It's insane.
Yeah, I mean, they need to go back to concepting. That's what human beings are supposed to be good at.
Right? So, but how's it going to work? Imagine that when you cannot find a job as a junior anymore, you have these seniors that have to now use AI. But then, I mean, eventually these seniors, they're gonna, go do something else or die. I don't know. Eventually, in 50 years, he's gonna be writing code, pure AI probably.
Yeah,
but 30%, that's crazy.
Which,
yes. So imagine like 30% of developers are not needed now.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Crazy.
All right. I got one last bit of news.
Go ahead.
On my side. So you're familiar with the movie Wicked?
Yes, I've seen something, but I did not click the news about it.
Anyway, they released a line of dolls from Mattel to coincide with the movie, and the dolls had a website written on the packaging, and some little girl went to the website and it was just hardcore porn. Now they're suing Mattel.
What was it? Like, was it just like a wrong link or something?
Yeah. So the company released singing dolls last month ahead of the release of the film Wicked, starring Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande. Mattel apologized for what it described as an unfortunate error and recalled the dolls. So this is the woman talking about how the daughter just showed her, oh, the hell, look like it popped up. And her daughter immediately showed her the site featuring hardcore full-on nude porn images. The lawsuit claims they were horrified by what they saw and suffered emotional distress, her lawyers added.
Of course. Of course, you have to sue them, but such a rookie mistake, though. Super sloppy. Super sloppy. No one checked it.
Well. What's one more traumatized child to the world now?
Amen.
All right.
Do you have anything else?
Yeah, but main subtopic was going to be the United Health CEO.
Yes, go ahead. I have so many comments about that.
Yeah. So, people are surprised the internet just is cheering on the shooter, and I'm just like, have you seen insurance premiums? Like, these people make hand on foot. And here's a few stats to go with. Look, again, legally, we disavow the shooter, but at the same time, here's a few things you need to know about American healthcare. So, United Health had twice the rate of turning down people for payments. Their premiums were sky high, and at the same time, they had a rate of 32% on denials. 32%. This is what that means. 1/3 of the customers were paying for years and did not get back what they wanted. Compare that to any other business. It's insane.
I think airlines, maybe that's another one I would put on there. That's for late tickets or your flight didn't happen, but you can still go through it, and there are specific mechanisms on the governmental level that allow to protect. Well, they do protect users or customers from that not happening. But insurance is a scam. I think insurance in the Netherlands is also a scam though.
Over here, at least, they have rules about this stuff. In the U.S., I read a long time ago that the insurance industry is the number one lobbyist in politics, and that's one of the reasons they have such bad healthcare policies. But also, the one of the reasons the best they can do is like Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, which is just now you have to pay an insurance company. That's all that act is, and it's considered like really good, and by American standards it is really good, but uh, it's an insane situation. Also, United Health, they also did this. They used an AI on their checking system, the validation system, and the AI had a 90% error rate.
Wow, I have no words. This sucks. I read as well one legislation that he passed through. He said they will not pay out any insurance money if again, because it's US and people get shot in US, if it's a 3D printed bullet or a 3D printed shell or a 3D printed gun. Because they said, well, guns are produced and controlled by specific companies, but if someone 3D prints a gun and shoots someone or uses a shell casing that is 3D printed, their company basically has, and he lobbied for it, or his company lobbied for it, that they will not have any payouts for that. So if someone gets shot,
oh, the irony,
in US and it's a 3D printed gun, they automatically 100% say we don't cover that because that's not by agreement. It's not whatever legally binding because anyone can print a gun or a shell.
I don't know if that argument makes sense on their part.
That's just the rule, right? They just argued and lobbied that's just not part of their coverage or something like that.
I mean, think about it this way: if somebody rams their car into you, they can be like, "Well, cars aren't meant to do that. Here, we're not paying you back your money."
It's like, well, it was a Chinese car, and we don't cover Chinese cars. We only cover Tesla cars. But yeah.
If you're wondering why the internet was overwhelmingly ecstatic about this, that's what.
There's this YouTube channel. They're also on TikTok. It's called Good Morning Bad News. I love this channel. I love watching them. And when I watched specifically about the CEO being shot, they said, "Good morning, good news." And they basically explained why the internet is celebrating the fact that finally one other billionaire, fell down from the ranks, and then they just go discussing how billionaires, they're just not part of any community. For example, how billionaires are sociopathic, they don't have any empathy. And he just pushed that every time a billionaire becomes a billionaire, they isolate from the community. They don't want to have any part of it. They create this artificial scarcity of whatever problem there is, which is not a problem normally. So again, a lot of marketing, and of course there's a systematic impact and how they control the government by lobbying for the deprinted shells or guns or something like that in US. So the whole thing basically exploded, and actually the internet was happy about it. The internet said this is great.
The only person who was like defending the billionaire was, of course, like the conservative commentator Ben Shapiro, and his audience turned against it. It was like, bozo, go to hell. He's a hack. He was obviously gonna defend any billionaire on anything.
Yes, that's true. Like this for me, this was a very as well. I was celebrating. I like eat the rich, right? So yeah, it's like the critique on the public perception as well. Like it's just embarrassing. I think for it has to be embarrassing for anyone who supports whatever he did and whatever he. Well, I mean, it's not only him, but like the whole. He knows what he's doing, and he got what he earned.
Like, okay, his main job was increasing the denial rate of insurance. He has more debts on his hands than any war criminal I can think of.
That's true.
Yeah. If you have a 32% denial rate, that's insane. And it was twice the industry average.
Yep.
Mm. That's just
from the sad note.
really a sad note for me. I'm like,
Oh, I was also when I saw this. It's like, good morning, good news. The CEO died, a billionaire who was isolated and not really helping the society. Yeah, he just like whole discussion about how immoral that was, and then he has no empathy.
uh, that said, that's all for my topics.
Same. Main topic: social media trends going wrong. I have a definition.
Go for it.
So, what is the definition of a social media trend? A social media trend refers to a pattern or behavior, topics, or content that becomes popular and gains significant attention across social media platforms within a short period of time. So, that's very important. Trends are often driven by uh, hashtags or challenges or memes or viral videos or ads, or now AI is a big chunk that takes part of it, or discussions, and they can be influenced by events, pop culture, or branded campaigns. And that leads me to I have seven examples of how companies basically mismanaged their social media trends. So when they jumped on a trend, and that was actually again lack of research, very sloppy, and they just tried to get out of it.
We love to hear it.
Pepsi. So Pepsi, Kendall Jenner ad in 2017. Pepsi released a commercial featuring Kendall Jenner. So she's a U.S. actress, and she offered a can of Pepsi to a police during a protest team. Yeah, nowadays, but she was part of this ad campaign. And then what happens? So she hands over the Pepsi to police during a protest scene, which has perceived kind of a tribalizing, a serious social justice movement, Black Lives Matter. So why is it wrong? Critics accused Pepsi of exploiting social media activism for profit and downplaying the gravity of real-world struggles.
I remember that ad like years after. I know exactly what they did wrong, which is it was so vague. On like, well, on one side it was just join the conversation. What conversation? What are you people talking? What
lives matter? That's it. Yeah.
Are you going to talk about defunding the police or something? Are you going to take a side? Are you going to be like increase police? No, nothing. It's just the aesthetics of protest being used, and then like at the end you just hand a can of Pepsi to a.
What does it solve?
God. I'm angry all over again.
Next one is Burger King. And what they did in 2021, they tweeted, women belong in the kitchen.
Oh, yeah, shit. I remember this.
What happened? So on International Women's Day, Burger King UK tweeted, women belong in the kitchen, intending to promote a scholarship program for female chefs. Well, why is it wrong? The tweet was seen as tone deaf and sexist without immediate context. The backlash led to Burger King deleting the tweet and apologizing.
What did they think was going to happen?
Out of context.
I imagine, like, on Twitter, every groiper was probably like, waste.
The third one is Dove. So it's soap, Dove with soap and stuff like that. And they released that's what was an ad in 2017, racist soap ad. So Dove ads showed a black woman removing her shirt to reveal a white woman underneath, sparkling accusation of racism. So the imagery was seen as implying that the dark skin is dirty or undesirable. So they faced significant criticism and had to apologize. So it was a big campaign. I cannot imagine why they thought it's okay.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't think they think about this stuff.
Who approves this?
What do you... This is what happens when your boardroom only has white people in this. They're like, oh yeah, this all checks out. I remember we were having a meeting at work and we were talking about lead generation, you know? And we were throwing around ideas. We can do this. We can like use Cameo. We can use all this to do this. And on the board, one of our senior directors, he said, "Oh, what if we send them like a dog leash? Because yeah." And I was the only one who chimed in. I'm like, they might get the wrong impression. He sent somebody a call. But like, who ordered this? Who's into BDSM over here?
Talking about BDSM, Balenciaga BDSM teddy bear ad in 2022. What happened? Balenciaga released a holiday campaign featuring children holding teddy bears in BDSM-inspired outfits. leading to accusations of inappropriate imagery. So the campaign was criticized highly about being inappropriate, especially involving children. Balenciaga faced lawsuit, public outrage, and boycotts.
Oh yeah, this was a huge thing.
I've seen this one as well. The other one I have is Di giorno. So misuse of hashtag why I stayed.
Oh yeah, we talked about this on another episode.
2014. So what
One
happened?
of my favorite internet mess ups of all time.
So what they did, they tweeted, again, it's Twitter, by the way.
Oh yeah, Twitter is meant for this.
You had pizza in response to a hashtag why I stayed, which is actually being used by survivors of domestic abuse to share their stories.
And they wrote why I stayed. They had pizza.
This is crazy. So this is another point of sloppiness and not doing their homework research.
Lazy.
It is.
You don't even check the keyword association cloud or something. What?
No. The other one is H&M. Coolest monkey, the jungle hoodie. In 2018. So what happened? H&M featured a black child wearing a hoodie with the text "Coolest monkey in the jungle," sparkling accusations of racism.
I feel like that one was intentional. And that felt like they were baiting outrage.
Aren't they all?
No, the previous one was just genuinely them not even checking what they were typing. This felt like they were. Nobody can look at that and not realize what's being said.
What if you're like, I don't want to say anything because I'll be fired?
Yeah.
They're like, you know what? This looks wrong, but if I say something, maybe someone up there, already decided that this is gonna fly. And on the set, when it's like the whole production and photography is happening, you're like, give this black kid this hoodie that says, coolest monkey in the jungle. The last one is Gillette. So the best men can be. Ad in 2009. So Gillette released an ad addressing toxic masculinity, which sparked polarized reactions. So while some praised the message, obviously, hello, r/red pill, others they viewed it as preachy or alienating for the audience. So the controversy fueled significant debates and brought, of course, negative press to the brand. So for me, this one is least kind of concerning.
Yeah, but I also just I hate that on the internet we have debates about the narrative of advertising. Like, who cares? Move on. It's basically like being angry at the junk mail in your inbox.
I got the spam and it says I can enlarge something.
It could have been better.
But for me, all these are company examples. And for when it comes to bigger companies, at least they can kind of go back with it. So, of course, some of these are lack of context, lack of homework. They basically do not align with the tone of the company. With the one from Balenciaga for the BDSM teddy bear, when I saw it, I did not think about it, nothing. And then I realized later on when the whole, people started being upset and so on, that this is creating a positive narrative to something that is actually should be like illegal or taboo, like CP or something. And this is what companies don't think about. Or there was a very nice book I was reading a long time, maybe 10 years ago. It's about how basically trends become normal, or when you boil a frog slowly, and then you stop understanding if you're being cooked live.
To be fair, that one's a myth.
Yes,
but it's a very good metaphor.
So this metaphor is in the book as well, was used as how people can become cannibals. And so, and the guy for 300 pages basically explains how propaganda works, how some of these companies, they can jump on a narrative, or how media can start normalizing things that are not normal. And eventually they're like, well, there's this research, and then this famous influencer said something, and that's the company said that this is okay to do BDSM teddy bears, and, she stayed, why I stayed because of pizza.
I mean, I feel like some of those are mess ups and others are just insanely out of touch people who think, who genuinely think their weird nonsense is normal.
That's what happens when the board of directors is 75 years old and white men.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't even come to them. They just greenlit everything.
Whatever.
But yeah, it's funny because this reminds me of the concept of the Overton window. You know about this?
No, what is it?
The Overton window is something that says there's like this shifting level of what's considered normal to talk about in public, and if you can influence the window to move here or there, and new things and enter by being like introduced into the public. And, some of these challenges can just kind of do that. One of the big reasons challenges take off, like the ice bucket challenge we discussed, is it's making the you remember the purpose behind that?
Was it? It's about like November and men's health or something.
No. The ice bucket challenge about ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease,
Okay.
and you suddenly introduce a concept and then you sort of normalize talking about it, and the challenges have that effect where it can shift the discourse to a new idea by making it a sort of social engagement game.
Well, I can totally see what they then tried Balenciaga, what they tried to do. Uh, for me, that's again a very big no-no. But this is probably a very great example of the theory.
Yep. So I have a study here. This one is published in the Springer Nature, and the authors basically outlined which trends take off, which ones don't, and they noticed that the most frequent challenges are social challenges, followed by solidarity, and very few of them, contrary to popular belief, are dangerous challenges. I mean, the ones that get really popular are the sort of really dangerous ones, like the Tide Pod eating one, which I should talk about that.
You're right.
Some people might be too young to remember this, but there in 2015 there was like the Tide Pod challenge was taking off. I was like, why are people eating Tide Pods as like a dare to each other? And this resulted in 6 deaths. That's just Darwinian natural selection happening.
The idea behind it, I remember what they said they're gonna do. It's like, oh, now washing companies, they should not make these any kind of washing pods colorful or attractive to kids.
I was going to talk about this. So in 2015, P&G Procter & Gamble announced it would implement a bitter taste to its Tide Pod to deter people from eating them.
Were they sweet before? I don't know.
I don't think the taste is the problem, guys.
Wow.
So this is interesting because this one started us off as a joke. So there were some memes running around, and apparently an Onion article that was making fun of, that was just proposed it as like a satirical joke, and then it just took off. This is an example of like a naturally occurring challenge. Like it isn't pushed by anybody, and all honestly starts off as a joke.
Now I started thinking, is Onion like a fake dangerous news?
They're a satire website.
Right. I mean, they are, but if this becomes popular, is it fake news?
Unintentionally. I mean, the thing about jokes is if they fly over someone's head, that's not your fault.
That's a good point.
What else? I also had the discussion about the food stamp challenge.
I don't know that one.
So this was done in Chicago and St. Louis and a whole bunch of cities where they dared regular people to buy food stamps for 1 month and try to live on them, only on that.
Okay.
And that's like, what was it, $117? This basically pushes the idea that this is how difficult it is to live on food stamps. These people are not living in luxury, because a lot of the right-wing media in the U.S. goes like, oh, how much money are we spending on this? What a horrible program, and blah, 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 blah. But it raised awareness for food stamp stipends, and St. Louis has held the challenge to this day since 2008. Yeah. And it's a good way of finding out just how difficult it is to live like that.
Yeah, because now what is the minimum hourly rates in US? $7.50 or something?
No. It's much higher than that now.
I think in some states it was 750, but obviously the adjusted one should be like $25 an hour or something, which is not applied or agreed on in other states.
I mean, Bernie Sanders was pushing for a $17 minimum wage last I checked.
Yeah, I think that's the one that it is now, maybe.
Mm.
What else do you have?
But yeah, I had that, and I wanted to basically have a discussion about challenges can be good or bad. You know, one of the things is the internet challenges have raised a whole lot of money. The aforementioned ice bucket challenge raised $117 million for charity.
That's pretty good.
That's really good, yeah. And all it was people throwing ice on their heads, you know.
Well, now they do the social challenges. Well, I think YouTube and influencers, they took it to the next level with their challenges where they say, I'm going to live in this trash bin for 24 hours. I'm going to try to live underwater in this whatever, some sort of
insert Mr. Beast video here.
Talking about Mr. Beast, I have famous people jumping on crypto trends.
Oh, yeah.
I knew you would love it. I called it Crypto Famous People, Trends, and Scams. And the first one is actually Mr. Beast. So Jimmy Donaldson, Mr. Beast, has been accused of profiting over 10 million from promoting low cap cryptocurrency tokens, allegedly engaging in pump and dump schemes. So the pump and dump scheme, for people who do not know, it basically means that you create a fake, or well, not fake, you create a coin on any blockchain, and then you have all the supply, so you have all the coins, and you release into the circulation a very tiny amount of coins, and when people start buying it, the price goes up, and you're the one, because you're the biggest backholder, you can just sell it. So, and that is what is pump and dump. So they pump the price, and then they dump the price, and they profit by selling their big bag of cryptocurrency, of that specific coin. So he was accused of multiple schemes where the value of a cryptocurrency was artificially inflated before being sold off for profit. So these promotions reportedly led for significant losses for investors once the token value obviously plummets. So that was from the article of Daily Coin. The second one is your favorite, Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate meme coin.
I just dislike him because he stole my haircut.
It's called Daddy Tate. So he experienced a substantial decline, losing over 70% of its value since the launch. This downturn has raised concerns about the coin legitimacy, obviously potential financial harm for investors. But this guy is insane because he's enjoyed my get out of the matrix course, and then pay, like, you can pay up to thousands of dollars a month for it.
Yeah, to join the war room.
Something like that. And then
everybody has one of these. Like every grifter has like their own like version of this, and it's always just a Discord server you can join.
Yeah, I think it's like courses as well that he was selling on his website. So, and then he said, if you join, I'll give you like some sort of amount of cryptocurrency that you can pay within outside the matrix ecosystem, and it's gonna be my marketplace. So he used a bunch of stuff that doesn't make any sense. And that was as well the article from the Finholt, I think. That's what, yeah. Then the next one was Logan Paul. Well, we know that guy. So he also had allegations of misleading fans regarding cryptocurrency investment, particularly through his project that was called Crypto Zoo, an NFT-based game that he failed to deliver on promises. So during the last bull run, he basically started selling these NFTs, and he said you have to buy an egg, which is like a non-fungible token, which is a smart contract that you buy. And then he said, well, once my phase 2 gets released, the egg will hatch, and then you get something out of it, which makes no sense. I mean, it makes sense, but it has no utility. There's nothing you can do about it. And people started buying in because they thought it's going to go up in price so they can sell and, again, dump on the market. So investors were accusing Paul of promoting the project without disclosing his financial interest in it, leading to significant financial losses again. So Paul was basically apologized. He was sued, but then actually he never paid out anything. But what he said, he's like, oh, I'm going to give you the money back. So he's like, you can guys claim the refund, but you have to prove that you bought the basically this crypto zoo NFT, and people started coming to him. He's like, "Oh, I'll give you not a refund, but I will transfer your money into my new crypto project, and then you gotta be have so much coins." Yeah, so it's again and again and again, just the same scheme.
If you guys want a more detailed rundown of that, the YouTuber CoffeeZilla had a really good investigation into it. He's got into like beef with him.
CoffeeZilla is great. He also actually went through all of these on his channel, and he inspired me to take this crypto famous people trend, right? So basically, the trend here is not a social challenge, it's not companies. Companies are like the fact that the companies, they can kind of take a step back and they have the budget to do crisis communication.
Yeah.
And in this case, these people, they're noobs. They're basically YouTube famous people. And when they do this, it's very difficult for them to, because they lose trust. They capitalize by just scamming their audience, and they don't care about it. And that is a little bit sad. And it leads me to the last one. Oh yeah, so the Logan Paul was from BBC News. And the last one that is now big controversy is Haley Welch.
Oh,
the Hot Tua girl. Everyone speaks about this for such a long time now. I feel like we're the last ones.
she speed ran being a meme, you know? It was like she speed ran it. Like one moment it was just a funny meme. The next she has like a talk show and a podcast. And this last moment she's hawking crypto.
And that's a very good point. So she also, what she did, she created as you said, a meme, and she launched a meme coin called Hawk.
Oh yeah.
And the coin value surged to a market cap of 490 million in a very, very short period of time. And then it crashed by 91% within hours. So critics accused her of insider trading and orchestrating the, again, pump and dump scheme, as the data indicated that the small number of wallets that controlled a significant portion of the coin supply, which is how it works because you have to be the main back holder. So she denied all the allegations. She said that she never was interested in the coin, that it's not her team. No one sold. The tokens during the launch are still in their wallets. And basically they're trying to, basically prevent and educate people about these issues now. So she becomes like a social justice warrior against pump and dumps when she actually did that. But 490 million, man.
I know.
$500 million in just like a scam because you hucked it in the video.
Hey, she made the most of that. I'm just saying, get that back.
Speed run the meme.
Yeah, but that's so indicative of the internet life cycle. It always goes like somebody becomes a meme, then it becomes obnoxious, then they try all this other stuff, and then suddenly they try to sell you something, and then like it's always a scam.
They try to just, as you said, speed run. I just thought about it because some of these guys, they were building up to it, right? Yeah, so they were building up. They were kind of like, trying to get the new people.
Right out of the meme, she had management behind her. That's so quick.
It's so weird. I mean, maybe someone said as well, this is of the realm of internet theories, that she is a fake placement in a way, that she was already, that is like all fake, right? So as soon as she went to
industry plant.
Yeah, exactly. So she was industry planted to do that. So they just needed the next big thing which I don't agree because it could be anyone.
Yeah, exactly. I was just going to say that the system selects. It doesn't need to create plants. Everybody has their 15 minutes of fame, you know? So somebody comes along and says, okay, this person's popular now, I'll go to them with a proposition. Like, you don't really need industry plants in this case. I mean, there are definitely ones, but this was somebody who was like, okay, this thing got really popular and we can just capitalize on it.
It's so like these weird trends. I'm okay with the ice bucket challenge or something like that, or educational trends. I'm absolutely not part of when it becomes, oh, everyone does it, so I have to do it too. But when there's no actual cause or learning after that, the pump and dump became like a business model as well in crypto now. Because what they do, they're just like, you know what, I'm gonna do the same thing and profit the same way, and everyone knows, because I'm pretty sure there's probably a few people who are part of each and one of these scams that I just mentioned, with Mr. Beast, with Andrew Tate, with Logan Paul, and Haley Welch. I'm pretty sure that there's one guy who took part of all of this, and he's like, you know what, I'm going to do the next thing because that's real.
Yeah, yeah.
So some trends, they, fool me once, shame on me. Or shame on you, right?
And there's the people who like fool me always. Yeah.
Fool me twice. Well, I'm never gonna get fooled again. But these guys, they just go at it. Yeah. So, but these are again, as you said, they're very fast moving ones. When it comes to the companies, they think this should not happen because it goes through corporate levels of approvals. When they try to piggyback on a trend, and still people, yeah, miss the point.
Yep. In terms of the statistics, the highest engagement for trends is for dangerous trends is among men.
Really?
Yep, overwhelmingly. The like Tide Pod eaters, the ones who like jump over cars and stuff like that.
Wow.
That's unsurprising. But the participation in trends is equally, equally gendered. So there's no significant difference in that regard. But if you want somebody to do something dangerous, you probably should be targeting guys.
So I see why. It's like a famous word of every accident. Look what I can do.
Yeah.
That's it. That's from my ends. I think the takeaway is just be vigilant as well. Maybe don't participate in every Twitter threads, and don't jump on every trend because you might not know where it comes from. So context is important. Avoid sensationalism, right? So maybe do not exploit sensitive topics and social issues just for attention. So bad PR sometimes is bad PR. You have to kind of consult the diverse perspective. I wrote that you have to avoid tone deaf or cultural incentive content. Try not to be in the kind of tunnel vision or in the box mentality of like this time is going to be different.
Yeah. Also, just don't come off as desperate.
That's
Jump on a trend like so many of these are just so desperate and craven. They just look. They just look. They just look bad because the company comes off as not only being out of touch, just having no clue what they're talking about.
Yeah, agree. Totally agree. So be vigilant, guys, and enjoy your day.
That's it from our side. This was episode 16 wrapped. You can check the references in the description.
Thank you, everyone.
Please.